Why is monkeypox resurfacing now? Can it affect anyone? This is what we do know. A monkey virus is illness brought on by a virus that is part of the so-called orthopox family, which have an oval or brick-shaped viruses of the same virus family, as despite not being chickenpox. Smallpox usually begins with flu-like symptoms such as afflictions such as fever, chills, and muscular pains and lymph nodes that are enlarged, several days after the fever first appears. Patient has fluid-filled lumps. They are typically concentrated on the skin, their extremities, such as the face, and the infections on the palms and soles of the feet typically last between 2 and 4 weeks. There is frequently an incubation phase. Between 1 and 2 weeks prior to symptoms. Basically, we are aware that monkeypox is not a brand new illness, according to doctors. It has been researching it for decades. There is one zoonotic illness that is human-to-animal transmission. Its name is due to the fact that it was first identified in research on primates in the 1950s unknown natural reservoir, although its primary host is most likely some kind of African rodent that one could possibly catch if they are bit, scraped, or if people consume tainted uncooked meat. Monkeypox can spread from there, person to person, through interactions with contaminants in bedding or other items, body fluids, respiratory, towels. The fluid that is contagious from the first time it was the source reported in individuals was in the year 1970. A vaccination can protect against monkeypox. Keep in mind that the smallpox and monkeypox similar viral family, and until acquiring smallpox about 40 years ago vaccination was widespread, but the illness, in a wonderful act of kindness was acknowledged, disappeared in 1980. And since the majority of immunizations have ended today, only about 30 individuals in the world, they have received vaccinations for having smallpox. Over time means monkeypox may have weakened smallpox immunity and have greater opportunity to spread disease. Congo has been a democratic nation since then. Once it manifested in humans, typically in the central and western regions, primarily in remote rainforested Africa. Places, though, have seen an increase in cases since a few of decades ago. 2017 saw a very significant continuous outbreak, say in Nigeria, and some of these instances involving travel. In 2003, outside of Africa, there was an pet-related outbreak in the United States, zoo animals coming from abroad and prairie dogs. We don't know with certainty why epidemics occur increasing frequency. It could relating to more people entering contact with animals as a result of evolving habitat loss and situations, but it might also be connected to the smallpox-related deaths due of the smallpox. Most of the population is unprotected, in fact. Infected individuals were not having received a smallpox vaccination, but what about the current? That has spread throughout Europe and anywhere else besides Africa. Regrettably, not all of this attention is just because, let's face it, areas where pathogens are spreading, not in Africa, but it is also true. Because it's unusual, there is concern show up in a variety of locations at once. The initial instance was discovered in occurred May 2022, and it involved a person who had visited Nigeria, which has been heard. However, since then, other instances have figured out where no one had gone to endemic nations, and precisely where perhaps it's unclear how they contracted the disease. Nonetheless, this implies that there might have a group of people or community for person-to-person transmission when there isn't a clear channel. Transmission occurs a way to make contact with someone who is contagious, infectious, and the monkeypox due to the possibility that it distributed by contaminated towels used for bedding, other non-human interactions, such as toothbrushes. Transmission from person to person is of exactly what it sounds like, close contact with a sick and infectious individual spreading it to someone else, and this exhibited symptoms of monkeypox, although outside the regions where the virus is present. Person-to-person transmission is common. Has only once been described in writing. This spread is quite wide for it. Essentially, the main factor that is causing such a large amount of current occurrences have occurred in gay and bisexual guys who sexually engage with guys, although that might actually be a confusing element rather than the reason for this is because monkeypox is not regarded as a sexually transmissible infection, does spread through intimate contact. Sex and contact definitely qualify, so some academics have hypothesized that not only may it facilitate transmission, but most likely, monkeypox is just a symptom.